poppin', everybody? Happy Friday. Oh, we doing all?
Yeah, you did the moves.
Welcome to episode 117 of For No Particular Reason.
18. Yes, there you
For No Particular Reason. With your host, Yankov, and myself, Kerri Lewis. And every week we show up here and we have conversations about whatever comes to our heart at that particular moment, which is why it's called For No Particular Reason, because we never know what we gonna talk about. So if you're just joining this show, you can catch us 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central, and 8 a.m. Pacific Time. And we love our audience to engage with us. So should you have any questions, if you want to do a kung fu move, whatever floats your boat, if you want to challenge what we're sharing, feel free. Me and Yanko, this is an open forum for people to share their truth and engage with us. So let's do this dance.
Yes, drop your comments below, people. Let's interact. Let's get some fun going on.
Let's do it. So what's popping? Yeah. What's going on this lovely August 7th, which, by the way, my mind is blown. Like, my kid is starting college in a month, and I'm like, whoa, where did the time fly?
Yeah, my little guy starts school too soon. We're getting ready. So, but we talked about it a little bit. I just have that feeling that things are getting better and better with every day. I don't know. It's like a inside feeling that just like, oh, it's so good. Like every day it's another gift, another excitement, another thing to be excited about. It, I don't know, I find myself getting excited about like ducks and nature and other things. And we went fishing yesterday. It was amazing. It was just so good. Yeah.
It's so funny you say fishing, because Nana and I were picking up food last night. And of course, Nana is in his cosplay land a lot. And I'm always staring off up into the sky and shit. And all of a sudden I'm like, babe. And there's this massive fucking bird with a fish. Now, mind you, I'm in the middle of the city of Worcester, right? So it must have flown through a pond somewhere. Like this bird flying through the sky with a fish fighting to try to get away. As I'm like, holy shit. Like, babe, you don't see that every day in Worcester. He's like, no, I can't say I've ever seen that. I'm so excited. He's like, only you would find that. And I'm like, yeah, damn right.
Well, it could find you too if you're paying attention. Yeah. If you start up with this mindset of like, amaze me today, like what are you gonna bring me in life that's gonna be just so amazing? You some kind of subconsciously program yourself to look for this kind of things, to like be amazed, to have so much good time. We had one kid that ran around with a little bucket, and he had a crawfish in it. And he gave it a name. I forgot what was the name, but it was so funny because he just, drives his bike around to the docks and, where the pond is, and asks people, hey, do you want to, I'll give you Bob as a name. Do you want to meet Bob? And people are like, who's Bob? And he goes like, oh, my pet crawfish. Do you want to meet him? And he brings him out and like pets the crawfish. And it was so funny.
I love that.
He did that twice though. It was so funny. Yeah.
Kids are so perfect.
But to example, like it just, life brings you this stuff. We weren't looking for crawfish or anything. We're just like minding our own business, having fun, and here you are. You experience something new. It's amazing. I don't know.
I came across a white caterpillar yesterday, which I've never seen. I mean, I see a lot of caterpillars. I've seen green ones and brown ones, but never a white one. And it was hanging on Nana's car for the whole ride from Connecticut to Worcester. I'm like, shout out to you.
He was hitchhiking on your car.
That's what Nana said. He was like, he hitchhiked. Homeboy got to pay me some money now.
There you go. That reminds me of the movie, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about that in a decade at least. Wow.
Every time I see one of those, I think of that movie. We had a time in the park a couple weeks ago, or maybe could have been a month. I don't remember. But apparently, this bird that flew out of his nest wasn't able to like fly a lot, so it just kind of hang on the side of the mirror of the car.
Yep.
And my son was getting excited. He's like, "Look, Dad, this bird is just flying with our car."
I love that. He's hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, there you go. So that's all I got to tell you. It's amazing. Every day gets better and better, and at the same time, it kind of brings me this feeling of like how little do we know about the life around us in our
It's
existence
so
and
true.
everything else. It just kind of it brings me. It keeps me grounded. That's the best I can say. Um,
Yep. Well, and I think that's so important. That's where I do a lot of work to remind myself often that I really have no idea. I don't. As much as I love to learn and as much as I absorb experiences and kind of examine them, I have no idea.
I don't think anybody does, and this is the one of the things that it gives you the illusion of control because the mind knows, oh, I know this thing, I know what's going to happen next, and it kind of predicts it for you, and it keeps you safe and sound, and you go with that, and you always have the illusion of like, oh, if I learn more, I'm going to know more, and I'm going to be prepared for so many things. So many years ago, that reminded me, it just brought up a memory. Um, when I was on autopilot, I went through something similar like that and I was just before COVID. And I don't know if this had something to do with the fear that was in the general public or whatever, or the media was just portraying that everything it's coming to an end. The prices are going up, and oh my God, everything's going to end up any minute now. And I found myself thinking the same thing, like, oh, if I'm prepared, if the internet goes off, then I can communicate and have like a radios and do this and buy me food. Maybe I can stock up some rice down in the basement and some buckets, and something happens and all these other things. Now when I look back at it, it's just funny.
I mean, even now though, like I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they're like telling me all this. Well, things are going to get really bad. For like a minute, I found myself going into my old pattern
Wondering.
of behavior, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, I don't fucking know any of that. What am I doing? I don't have to. I don't have to plan or concern myself with any of that. What's gonna unfold will be divine perfection, and it's interesting. I actually that leads me to a situation that presented itself this week where I was sharing with an individual. As a parent, we assume we know what's in the best interest of our kids, but we
Mhm.
really don't. And as a parent,
No.
oftentimes we work diligently to help them avoid suffering. And but kind of like showing up late for something when we apologize for it. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. That's divine timing. So I truly believe, and it does take practice for me, but my children's suffering is part of their journey and the greatest good for all. And I know that, like, I really know that. Now, my habit of trying to control things or understand or fix it kicks in for sure. And yet I am reminded that I really don't know, and I do know that everything's working out for the highest good. So, what's the point of concerning myself or freaking myself out? If I need to take action, it will present itself to me when I need to take the action.
I mean, but that comes with relaxing into different situations. We were just talking about it before we get online. That sometimes you get this like, oh my god, and then you kind of have to ease in and see how everything unfolds. Um, and so we don't. It's just the illusion of the mind that plays the tricks and portrays that this and that, and then you take it to be true and you believe it, and that's where the suffering comes. You
Yep.
know, the mind, it's a good instrument to use, but don't take it as you, because it's not you.
100. Well, I'll tell you again, it's always a practice, even for me. And I think as I'm starting to connect more and more with just knowing, and I'm not talking about I know everything, but like there's just things right? And I believe from my experience, that's a gift you cultivate. Like you have to work on
Yeah,
it. So
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
on Sunday, me and Nana are at a gym, and I see an old friend of mine. Like, love this person, haven't seen her in a while, but I knew like something was like, ooh, her energy's like she does not want to be bothered with me at all. Like she's not like she's like,
Yeah.
but me being me, Yanko,
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
wanted to poke the
I'm
bear. I
gonna
did the same thing. I know what you mean.
I'm gonna dip my toes in the water. So
It's
me and
like,
Nana finish our
okay, let's see
set,
what's
and I'm like,
going
babe,
on.
let's go say hi to this individual. Sure enough, this woman was ice to me, right? And then she looks at Nana and she's like, hey, how are you? Yo, the way right now. I mean, and the way I operated, like my energy immediately closed down. And she then tried to, I think she caught herself and her, hey, gorgeous.
Yeah,
If
nice
you're
to see
free,
you
come
too.
join the conversation. You can jump on. But anyway, so she must have like like as soon as she did that, she must have caught herself. So she turned to me and was like, hey, how are you? And by then I was just like, okay. But right, I did that to myself because I knew before ever going over to this individual that she was not going to vibe with my energy anymore, that we had, we did our thing in life, and but I just kind of had to prove it to myself. But it stung because like I really cared for this individual. So I went through the process. I sat on the grass, and Nana, and he even said it, and I think he'd be okay with me sharing. Nana freezes in those situations. He's just like, he doesn't know what to do. And it's not his job to take care of me either. So he's just like in this really weird situation where he's like, wow, that energy just went fucking weird. So he goes to the bathroom and I go sit outside on the grass and I'm watching the bees to kind of regulate my system. And he came out, he's like, I'm so sorry that happened. I'm like, I'm not. I knew it. I was like, I totally, like, I did that to myself because I knew I can't be mad at her. Like, I put myself in that situation. But then, and this is where the universe is so, so good, because me and Nana were celebrating our anniversary that day. And he was like, we were going to the beach, and all of a sudden I got an intuition to go to a metaphysical store. We were driving by. I'm like, I'm going to pull in here because I know that just being with all those, like just being in that space is going to be cool. I'm going to feel grounded. And I walked in and I ran into an old coworker, old friend of mine I hadn't seen in like 6 or 7 years. And I said to the universe, I was like, I see you. Just as one door closes, another one opens, and I don't have to hold on so tightly. But I just have to laugh because I knew. I just knew, and I still did it anyway.
I mean, it gives you the perspective of the one and the other right after each other, so you can kind of go with it. But we don't even know. Most of the times, it could be that the other person gets something out of the whole experience. They can get something of like, oh, like I shouldn't have done that or whatever. It could be something. So if I feel like I need to poke the bear, I poke the bear. I like yourself. I sense the energy field or people, and when they come in, I know what's going on. And
But
I
I
think
also
I've
think
done.
with me, just
Yeah.
where I'm at, it's your those gifts, those skills are being developed just like anything
Hmm.
else. Like it doesn't
Hmm.
happen over time. That's why you and I encourage people to listen to their intuition, but sometimes your intuition is like the softest whisper because you've been so busy being driven by ego. So you cultivate that. You cultivate it until your inner guidance system becomes glaringly obvious, like Yanko's in mine now. But I still,
screams in your head. Like,
and then
whoa.
and then I still have to test the water. I'm like, I'm gonna just feel that in. So, you know.
Yeah. Remember some time ago, you're like, I don't know, man, I want that. You know, I'm like, sometimes I like to poke the bear.
I can assure you that in the moment, I wasn't like, oh, let's see if she really don't vibe with me. But, you know, after I was like, I definitely was like, oh, let's see if she really don't vibe with me. And I'm like, okay, well, there I got my answer.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, life now, it's more of a kind of like adventure where you kinds of cool stuff like that, good or bad, it doesn't matter. You're having fun. You're getting something out of the experience. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constantly learning, constantly expanding, you know, and figuring it out. And look, I mean, I will still tell you, Yanko, that experience did not feel good, like, right? And I honestly, for me, having one of my core, whatever it is, wounds, like things that still come up, is like this idea of being rejected. And so it was another gift for me in that respect, because I'm like, oh, that's coming up for me again, and I can just release it and let it go, you know what I mean? And just trust that I was meant to have that experience as well, to continue to be reminded that just because I don't vibe with anybody has nothing to do with my worth or even their worth. It just is an energy, and sometimes those energies don't mix well, you know.
Yeah. It could also mean nothing to do with anything. I don't think life has anything. Showing up, I was thinking about with your new book out, and here you are, sharing your thoughts.
No bullshit. I didn't know you had a new book out, but that's primarily because I'm pretty much off social media unless I'm streaming to social media. So if you want to join us and share the book with the beautiful people of Yanko and Kerri's crazy experience, have at it. Totally different topic, but you kept saying duck in it, you know, because of that, this reel that I saw with Maya Angelou came up for me the other day, and I sent it to my daughters. And not only did I send it to my daughters, but I sat with one of my daughters and I really made sure she watched it. The other one is more resistant to it, but she'll listen to it when she's meant to. But Maya Angelou was talking about how people will kill you. Like they will come out to kill you, but it's slow. And the Western African ideology, they call it blow, bite, blow, where they blow on you, bite you real quickly and blow so you don't realize. And what she was referencing is that when you're around individuals, maybe somebody isn't going to outright tear you down. They might just be like, oh my, Yanko, why'd you pick that shirt? That shirt doesn't look good on you today. And then the next day, if you tolerate it, Yanko, you know, you're putting on weight. What's up with that, right? And so what she was saying was, in her lifetime, she has left, and, you know, many men. And the reason why is the minute they pulled that shit, they'll be out in public and they'll say something to somebody like, oh, I don't know why Maya picked that outfit today. That doesn't look great on her. She'll go home and pack up their stuff and get out. And they're like, why you always take it to the extreme? She's like, because I know if I let you pluck one feather out of me, next thing I know, I'm bald. And I'm like, yes. And I tell my daughters that all the time. Like, the minute somebody says some snide little shitty thing to you, don't feel badly about it. Don't stress it. Just say, you're not my people. Get the heck out, because I don't want people around me who are going to tear me down.
I don't even have to go that far though. Usually that's their filters, how they see reality, because everyone sees reality differently. I already know that, because working with people, everyone sees the reality differently, and everyone has different ways of like how they perceive it. So like earlier we talked about it, you're entitled to your opinion. You have your reality, you have your experiences, you can share it, appreciate it. I'll say even thank you. If they say that doesn't look good on you, I'll be like, thank you. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me a one bit.
Yeah, you know what? It depends. I think for me, I don't know. Yeah, no, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, you can keep your opinion to yourself. And if you feel like sharing that with me, that's cool, but I'm not doing life with you. And that's just and Hannah and I were talking about this the other day. After watching that video, mind you, it forced me to look at my behavior, because me and Nana are celebrating 6 years on tomorrow. We will have been together 6 years. And we were kind of reflecting on our relationship in regards to that video. Nana has never, ever criticized me. Ever. If I'm out of pocket with my kids, like maybe if I could have said something differently and I ask him, he'll share his opinion, but he never just like pokes the bear. He just doesn't. And then I was thinking about it and I'm like, there have been a couple times where I've given him a hard time about being on his phone too much. And that's really no different than what Maya was saying about somebody's dress, because it is a judgment of the behavior of somebody else. And so I appreciated it not only to share with my daughters what I would hope they are not willing to tolerate, but it also had me check in with my behavior and look at how I can show up from a place of unconditional love rather than, not thinking about it. And even though somebody could be like, oh, you're just saying you want more time, maybe, but like unconditional love is holding space for somebody just as they are without expectation. And that's really what I strive to do for individuals, but most importantly, the person that I'm doing life with,
Yeah. I mean, it's my experience that we do a personal relationship with different people. Some kind of like and as soon as that ends, they can get their needs met. If they're doing that with you, if they're always like, messing with you, like gaslighting you, doing whatever, oh, you look like this, or doing it in public, if they're not getting that response that they expect from you, they're going to move on and get that need met from somebody else. So it's not like, oh, I got to run. Oh, this isn't like, no. It stops right there. As soon as you realize it. But at least that's how I see it.
I always, you and I just shared, like, you're fine with people sharing with you whatever their opinion is. I'm not. Like, if you have nothing nice to say to me, that's cool. Like, that's your opinion. I'm not going to try to change it. Trust me. But I'm not doing life with you. And I think that's the difference between us. But one thing I will say is anybody who picks apart and nitpicks and tears down another person, whether it's about their outfit, whether they gain weight, whether they're on their phone too much, that's a them problem, meaning there's some internal dialogue that I would encourage them to look at, because anytime I catch myself focusing on somebody else, I ask myself, what is it I'm avoiding looking at within myself? I always do. And usually it's something, it really is. And so I'm just open to whatever's coming up for me. And that helps me take the focus off the external, another individual or situation, and look at how whatever I'm going through so I can let it go. Because to your point,
Let me go
the
within. Yeah.
the minute I'm aware of it, it no longer holds control over me,
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it before. But kind of, other things that get back. But yeah, personal relationships are interesting. Watching with, but that's what he was saying. And finds what's going on in this madness and fun of it. Yeah.
I love to people watch. I mean, it's me and it's truly my favorite activity. In fact, if me and Nana go out to a restaurant, he knows that I want the seat where I can observe all the people. He's like, baby, but people fascinate me. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that about you. Thanks for sharing it, though.
Yes, absolutely. I will sit like I find it so fascinating to observe people, and see how they respond to certain stimuli, how they interact with the individuals that they do life with. And I say do life with because I see a lot of people who say that they love the people they're with and then don't treat them in a very loving way. So I'm like, yeah, you do life with them. But yeah, it's just fun. You know who some of my favorite people to watch are? My children. Because
yeah, they have your genes. They're a perfect copy of you.
they are the greatest teachers of me.
That's right.
They teach me so much when I get out of this habit of being a parent and thinking I need to conform them to what is right or wrong or whatever. And I just like observe them. Like particularly one daughter, I watch her and I'm like, oh, that's why I behaved like that at 18. Oh, like so I was so unaware. And now I watch, I'm like, oh, damn. Okay, I see. And it's it's fun.
They're bringing all that, even ancestral things that Brandon families, because we don't know, like back in the days they must have gone through like different types of hardships and things that never got shared or dissolved, or scares or whatever situations they went through, and then unconsciously that's being passed on, and you get to have it play.
Well,
our children are
I was at the gym yesterday speaking to this beautiful soul, and she was talking. It was so funny because she's retired and this woman works her butt off. I mean, when I say like she's in her 60s and she has created an amazing physique for her, and her husband's there and they work really hard. They train regularly. Anyway, so she's retired and she's talking to me about how her husband has chosen to work part-time, doesn't need to. But if she's sitting on the couch hanging out and she hears the garage door opener, she starts to get up, like get anxiety, like she should be doing something, because we've been conditioned
to always do, to be productive.
And so she said to me, she's like, where does that belief come from? And I shared with her, honest to God, epigenetics plays a massive role until we're aware, and we really can break the like conditioning of epigenetics. However, epigenetics and like ancestral behaviors absolutely directs our behaviors now until we become aware of them and we make a conscious choice to continue to behave that way or make a different, like behave differently, you know? But yeah, so often people, to your point, they just going along to get along. They never examine why it
I
is they
mean,
do the things they do.
usually it's the programming and the environment we grew up in. If you look at back in cultures and other things, they have days where they celebrate the dead. They do like food offerings, other things. They invite him to help them. They, ask if there's anything unsolved they can do and other things like that. That I think nowadays it's more of a woo woo mumbo jumbo for most people. Like they're not, but it's been in generations and generations before. It just kind of maybe this industrial boom with everything getting more smarter and machines and that, and people started to be more logical and being taught to be more logical and go that way instead of having the balance between logic and inner wisdom or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Well, it's so interesting when you talk about inner wisdom because I'm reading a book by Gopi Krishna, the Discords of Gopi Krishna. Which, side note, I'm totally taking this on another topic real quick and I'll come back. But I am now studying all, like not all, but enlightened women throughout history because I'm like, why is it? And granted, this is ego, but why is it? I have read endless accounts of a connection with God and enlightenment and all this from men. And only, I think, Teresa from Avil or whatever, because she wrote The Inner Castle. But I haven't. So I'm like on this mission to read all this stuff from women who have experienced enlightenment now. But anyway, I digress because my whole point in the Gopi Krishna Discord, and I totally agree because it's been my experience, right? I come from, like, I'm surrounded and have been in my life, not so much now, but by people who come from academia, who have endless degrees and like they can spit so much information, but they are some of the least wise people I know. Intelligent, yes. Wise, absolutely not. Self-aware, hell no. So not for nothing, I'd rather be stupid and self-aware. I
I
really
wasn't
would.
I wasn't expecting that you're gonna drop that bomb, but okay.
No, because you, again, right? Like going back to my example with the whole Maya Angelou, my ability to sit in the paradox of that, right? Like,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
this is what I would want my daughters, would
Mm,
hope that my daughters, their standard would be. And yet, where do I miss the mark in that too? And how can I continue to work so I can show up and be the embodiment of the very behavior that I would want my daughters to experience within their relationships with people,
yeah.
you know?
You being a role model. You do
But that's
you and
self-awareness. And when you
yeah.
are super smart and not self-aware, when you're not aware of how your behavior affects others or why you're making the choices you're making, why you're reacting to a certain trigger, then you just keep going over and over and over in the same programming. And
Yeah.
that, no offense, like, yeah, you could say stupid or ignorant, but either way, you're not you're not changing anything.
And that topic, I don't know. For women, there is Ananda Mayama, which was one of the enlightened
I already
ones.
looked her up.
Yeah. You looked her up?
I
Yeah.
actually, that's the funniest thing. So you and me are so in sync. It's stupid because that is literally on my books right now.
On your
I just
list?
got it. No,
Yeah.
I just got it yesterday.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. There is accounts of women that being enlightened and did the same thing is not. Look, the way I understand it, gender, it's something that people conform to because of the body, in other dimensions and other things, and there's just the both masculine and feminine energies, and a lot of people that experience in when to look and understand and get an understanding of this whole principle or whatever you want to call it found out, and they give it different names like Shiva and Shakti and things like that. So it's there. It's not like, oh, there's no women that are enlightened. There is. It's just probably nobody wrote about him or that. And that's the other. A lot of those people, when they have that experience and they know what's going on, there's no need for them to, because there's nobody left to go and
prove it.
say, I want to
Yeah.
know, yeah, the world to recognize me. They don't, they don't, they're not attached to any outcomes. They're not going and say, oh, I'm going to start a ship in whatever and have disciples follow me, because there's nobody to follow. There's no ego left. There's nobody home. They're just presence. They just sit and vibe with whatever happens. So
Well, but
it
I will say, like, even so, what is it? I can't pronounce her name, but the woman you said, she didn't
Ananda
write
Maya
down
Ma, yeah.
anything. Like, her work was recorded by a disciple, but she didn't write anything down. And when
That
I
was
was,
exactly what I was gonna say. A lot of that books or material that come to people now, it's from disciples.
which is,
If they ask for permission and
yep,
they don't give them permission, they don't say yes or no. They just go and say, Guruji or whatever, can I write this book for you? And they just kind of sit, and it doesn't matter to them. They don't say, yeah, go for it, or no, that will be disappointing, that will be a lie or whatever. Because they also understand on a one level, whatever you describe or whatever knowledge you give to the people, it's just going to be an illusion. It's just going to take him out of the real of now, here, and whatever it's happening. So
yep.
you can read all those books. It's kind of nice, like I told you, for entertainment when I read it. But that's the reality of I start to understand and it. So
Well, it's,
yeah,
and I agree with you. And yet, to your point, it's super fascinating to hear about different experiences of people and what they've like gone through, and um yeah, even when I was in the Middle East, I was speaking to this amazing gentleman, and he was telling me about a woman from the Middle East who was super enlightened. But
yeah,
to your point about disciples writing, that is where I lovingly encourage people to suspend what you think you know and keep an open mind, because the disciples are still coming from ego and they're
yep,
interpreting stuff. And the reality is unless you have had that experience yourself and channeled it, like whether you believe A Course in Miracles was channeled or some of these books that are out there, you are creating your understanding of it. And that's why I read the Bible, read the Quran, read all these things, but I take it with a grain of salt. I look for the commonalities of all of them. What is the common theme that's sprinkled between every single book? Because the book's written by man, which means there's a level of ego to it. And that's true. And when you take it as law, which every single scripture that I've subscribed to, that I really have, like, that has, like, I've gotten those goosebumps, I feel, will say, do not take this book as a law. Find
yeah.
your connection with God, source, creation yourself. Don't subscribe to everything like that, because then all you're doing is feeding your ego, keeping you even more disconnected from the whole purpose of the book in the first place.
then you know.
I know.
You're the special one who's the only one who has access to this stuff.
And that's the thing, is like some of the greatest examples that I can think of recent time is like, what is it? The Buddhist monks who were walking across the country for peace. And then the Baptist guy was like, you need to believe in Jesus or you go into hell. And I'm sitting here laughing. I'm like, that is the most anti-Christ thing you could do right there. And you're sitting here jamming stuff down this throat, who's simply walking for peace. He's not saying you have to be Buddhist. I was just like,
I mean, there's all kinds of stories like that. I recently watched a comic of a Buddhist meditating, and then his disciple come in and start to mimic the Buddhist to sit and meditate. And then the second day, the housekeeper or whoever, the cleaner, comes in and sees them both sitting and meditating, and also sits to meditate. And they turn around and they say, "Who do you think you are to sit and meditate?" Coming from ego. Like the one thing is like he's looking at the Buddhist.
Well, it's so funny because I was talking to my cousin Fatma. She's in the United Arab Emirates, and she was telling me. So I went to the most beautiful. Oh my God, what's it called? What's their worship centers called? Mosque.
Oh, the mosques, yeah.
Oh my God, when I say this thing was so beautiful, and I can't even describe it. It was so. But she was telling me that the men are stripped down to everything. They can't show their class, you know what I mean, bling bling, because in the mosque you're one. There's
not only that, but the illusion of things. You come naked, and then the way you come into this world, that's how you exit. It doesn't matter how much wealth you have, how many bank accounts or cards or whatever. You're just like Joe that's living next door or whatever. It doesn't make you any special than anybody else. So
it's so well, Nana and I just watched The Lord of the Rings, which he hasn't seen it before, but he's watching it because this weekend he is headed to Fan Expo, and it's the 25th anniversary of The Lord of the Rings, so it's like a big to do. Anyway,
he wants to get in character, right?
Yeah, but he's actually
stack himself.
No, he's actually going as Lord Farquaad from Shrek, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, the point is I was watching this movie because as I watch movies from a different perspective, I'm like, oh my God. The Ring to me was the greatest example of how humans identify with money or religion, because the two things, right, we claim are so high on, that make us worthy, that make us connected to God or whatever, are the two things that will bring out the worst in us, that will bring us to be negative towards people or unkind. And so I just found it very fascinating to watch The Lord of the Rings from a new perspective and see how a ring could be identified as religious ideology or money, and how it makes us believe that we're coming from a place of love when really we're coming from a place of control and narrative and conditioning.
I mean, it's all like I said, it's I don't know. You just have to go to the experience and discern for yourself. You have all the experiences, all the possibilities here, everything. You can grab from anything you want, play it any way you want. You got so much freedom to do all that stuff. And sometimes we forget, and we had to be reminded. I had somebody that I work with, and it was just a reminder. I said, you have so much possibilities. You don't have to do this one thing. There's in every situation you have so many ways you can play it. So go crazy, go nuts, play it any way you want.
Yeah, but I find that so many people have the hardest time giving themselves permission to do that. And like even I was having a conversation with an individual the other day, and we were talking about the fact that I won't work with clients who know everything. Like the minute you say you know everything or you know the answers, I can't work with you because fuck, I don't know all the answers. And you've just closed off your mind from a new possibility. I was just talking to somebody else today who was like, I don't think I could get another work for another company and make the same amount in bonuses that I do in this. And I was like, well, if you believe that, you're 100% right. But if you just don't even say, oh, I know that's going to happen. If that feels like too far of a stretch, just say I suspend what I think I know and I'm open to it, because the universe wants to work for you, man. We
Yeah.
were not meant to come in here and like just scrape by and suffer. Absolutely not. We're meant to experience all the limitlessness that is accessible to us. It's just that we convince ourselves that we're
Yeah.
limited and thus we must experience the limit.
Yeah. We put the brakes on ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%, Gail. I agree.
Go. It's with us on that one. Yeah. Well, there will be no desire to learn anything or expand or do anything because you already made up your mind or your character that, oh, I already know. So the search stops there and there's no need to search.
Yeah.
But there is the opposite where you can constantly do the search and constantly keep going, which could also paralyze you from acting because then you're always unsure and you're always looking for the right thing in the next book or the next course or whatever you're doing instead of just do life, just do it now.
Well, earlier today my daughter called me. She was invited to do something today and she was on the fence. And she shared with me, she's like, well, I don't want to miss out on something, but I don't know if I want to go. And I said to her, how are you going to know if you don't make a choice? And then you're going to have
Mm,
the experience. If you go
mm.
and it doesn't feel great, well, now you've had the experience that you made a choice that didn't serve your best needs. Or if you don't go and you feel really good, then maybe that was the thing you needed to do right now. But that's the thing. You're gaining the experience to have that understanding about yourself.
Yeah, it's the illusion that the mind fits you with. Even in before, I was thinking that you look at some of the writings and you want to pretend to be somebody, and they say, well, like Buddha sit on the Bodhi tree and get enlightened and whatever. But just this act, it's you doing something. There's no way you cannot do anything. You're constantly doing. You're just not knowing that you're doing things.
Yeah.
So the mind gives you this like ability, like I'm not doing anything, but the reality of things that your body it's doing is circulation, other things are happening, your mind is going different directions. There's always doing, you just have the illusion of not doing.
Yep.
So
Or right or wrong, right? Like
yeah,
this
yeah,
idea of
yeah, yeah.
so, and I'll give you, and this happened for me. Like, this is how funny the ego is. I'm gonna give you two experiences because this is great. I love it so much. As I learn myself, because I have not figured myself out. The other day, I'm like, oh man, I should really listen to another spiritual scripture because lately I've been on this kick of like romance novels and I should really do something more spiritual. That is all an illusion, guys. Like the whole thing was just the
Yep,
utter mind fuck
yeah.
that one is better than the other. Like it doesn't matter what's going to bring me joy. Just make the choice out of that. But I went down this whole rabbit hole. And the only thing I can say is that I was very, very happy about is I caught myself and I'm like, okay, well, that just happened. And then
Yeah, yeah.
the other practice, and this one makes me laugh even more. I mean, I have endless journals. Then I start transformation, whatever you want to call it, right? Like this. And it was like kicking up stuff for me. And then in my mind, I'm like, I'm really seeking to be a very unconditional, loving, joy-filled person. And so I'm not going to journal right now because nothing I have to journal about up writing for. And then the other thing, I convinced myself not to do the thing I enjoy doing because I thought that if I couldn't put down on paper a specific expectation about what I should be writing, I should do it. And like that, guys, is the trickery of your mind. And that is why, and I'm sure Gail will say this, or that she does it in her own way, and you'll say this, get still. Because when I breathe or when I sit in meditation or if I go for a walk by myself or if I'm able to realize when I get caught up in this ridiculous like illusion that my mind creates within me. And that's what it is. And the thing that I've had to most learn over my years is just not to judge myself for it, to laugh, be like, you got me for a whole year, but now I'm back to writing. So
Ramana has a really cool trick that he asks who wants to write right now, or who's the one. Like, I'll use the example when he said between the romance and the spiritual. Who's the one who wants the romance and the spiritual? Where's this coming from? And then right there, exactly in that moment, you laugh because it's coming from ego.
100%. And then for me, my next question is, what's going to bring me joy right now? Like,
yep.
Because, that's just what I like, and then you just go about your business and do whatever. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
But it is
that's really cool way to like trust your body or whatever you want to call it, to get like a sense of what's going to be the more, like you like to say, yummy thing to do.
Yummy.
So,
yep.
yeah.
Well, yeah. And as of late, I mean, and this is again where we've been so conditioned to do. I'll go for a workout and then just want to sit in meditation for hours. That is all I want to do. And then I convince myself, oh, well, you really should do a load of laundry. You really
yeah.
cook the family. That's a nice to do for the family when all I want to do is sit in meditation. So then I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just sitting in meditation. Maybe when I'm bored with that, maybe then I'll be inclined to do something else.
It's perfectly all right. It still get to go to that kind of phases where I actually confronted somebody. We have this local gathering that we do that's called Ask, Vibe, and Share, and we get like a bunch of people to come in, ask questions, share their experiences, and all that stuff. And one of the people said, "Oh, it's so hard to meditate," and I said, "Really? You really have to struggle and fight to get and meditate, right?" And she goes like, "Oh yeah," and I said, "Well, I do it because I love to do it." There's no struggle. There's just this like inner peace that you just said. But yeah.
But that you grew into, I imagine.
I know. That's what I was going to say in the beginning, when you have all your demons and all your, shadows and everything else. Of course, it's going to be hard to sit with yourself because you haven't paid attention to yourself for so long. And at the beginning is just uncomfortable to do it. So, yeah.
Very. And that's why, for me personally, I did the old school sit, focus on your breath, and like just feel all the awfuls. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But now, having been doing this for damn near 20 years, I do not recommend that being the way that people learn how to meditate, because meditation is coming to oneness, like coming to presence. Like so there are a billion ways you can do that without like going into that experience where it feels so dense and uncomfortable
Right.
right away,
Yeah.
and so it's giving yourself permission to try different things.
Yeah, it happens. You ease in, just kind of like when you want to get in the water, you dip your toe, you see how the water feels. Okay, maybe I can go a little further in, and that's how you do it.
Yep.
But reality of things is that when that happens, it becomes nature, and it's this. I won't say that it could be a trap where you could get into like, oh, this is going to be my escape from the reality where I can just go within and just be in this, oh, all the time. Because that could also happen.
Yep.
But it is an experience. So you don't have to struggle. It's just what it is.
Well, I was talking with an individual this week, and they just had a very busy mind. Like there was a lot of movement, and so they did like the practices of breathing and stuff with an expectation that it would make the busy mind go away. And what I heard is, instead of trying to make the busy mind go away, what do you need to do to comfort yourself while you're having this experience? Just breathe and watch it. Like, just feel your body feel uncomfortable.
Mm.
You don't have to force the busy mind to go away, because it's obviously there's things that are coming up because they need to come up, and then just you let it come up and you move it. It moves and it just flows.
I had something similar, and what I said to that person was that consciousness flows where attention goes. So
Yep.
if you give your attention to your thoughts, well, you're gonna get more thoughts. So depends on where you put your attention on.
Yep.
If you put your attention in your breathing, you're gonna get more breathing, I guess, or whatever else is happening. Because some people have, and that also becomes super handy because you train your mind or concentration of where you want to put your concentrations on, so you don't get to be bothered by little things of like, oh, maybe the clock is ticking too loud and this tick tick tick, it's like taking my attention away, or like somebody, I personally experienced that when I sit and read book and my wife comes in and starts eating chips or things, and you get that, and you can't concentrate. No, all this thing zones out. You get to put your attention on whatever you want to put your attention on, and it's a
Yep.
good thing to have. So yeah.
People to, play with it, as you say, because I have to tell you, I'm going to just give you this story. I have ADHD, right? And they'll do, but you give them something that they are interested in, and they go down a rabbit hole for like hours, and they are not in the
Yeah.
least bit distracted. And so, what does that say to you? And this is what I encourage people to consider. And this is another reason I cannot stand the way our school structure is created, because it does not meet the needs of the biological body as well as how our brain works. But I will say, if you do this experiment, you'll see it's true. Your mind will wander when you're bored. Like if you're not
Oh
interested
yeah.
in it. If you tell me I have to study chemistry, you can be talking to me and I'll be daydreaming about going out and playing in the yard. But if you talk to me about quantum physics, about the theory of certain things, I am wrapped. You and me are locked in. And so test it. And instead of saying there's something wrong with yourself, figure out what is right with you, which is everything anyway, but be like, oh, what interests me? And see how quickly you drop into a focused attention on the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
All
all
right.
right. That's it.
Hopefully we did the same for you guys. We get
And
it.
if not, that's cool too.
Yep. Thank you all for vibing with us, sharing space, comments, whatever else. You're welcome to find us next Friday, same time, same place, and we'll vibe with you. We'll bring out the same energy, same people, or some guests. Who knows? Sometimes we bring different guests that bring their view.
Energy to us as well.
Yep.
Okay. Until next week, y'all. Peace and chicken grease, and remember to do everything with love.
There you go.